This is Real Talk with Brendan Bartic, where we'll be talking about the latest real estate strategies, scripts, top producing techniques, and everything you're going to want to know about how to be an elite real estate agent or real estate coach, or just a great business person. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Hustle. This is where we roll up our sleeves, take our jackets off, go behind the curtain, and talk about the nitty-gritty strategies, techniques, everything I wish someone would have told me in the real estate industry that I've learned over the last 20 years. I'm trying to give to you in these sessions so you can understand how to become an elite real estate agent. So today we're going to be talking about no one cares how long you've had your real estate license. No one cares how long you've been licensed. Now, I'm going to talk about this in two parts. The first part being if you're brand new, right? If you're a brand new agent, you've been only licensed for a day, a week, a year, whatever it is. And then I'm also going to talk about the stigma that goes along with agents that have been licensed for 30, 40, 50 years and how there's also some issues there. So let's dive into the first one, which is, hey, I'm new, and because I'm new, I've been told that I can't do this, I can't do that. I hear agents telling me all the time, well, my managing broker told me I should start out as a showing assistant. My managing broker told me that I should only work with buyers and do open houses. My friend who's a real estate agent told me that I see where I'm going with this? There's this stigma that because you're new, people want to put their hand down on your head and say you shouldn't do this or that you're not ready to take on the world and do all of these things. That is complete bogus, right? That is the worst thing I've ever heard. And here's how I know this to be true, right? Is you have the ability to do the same thing that any agent on earth is doing right now, just as fast as, or just as well as them, but a lot faster now, right? Because there's so many tools out there to help you, right? One of the reasons that I developed the Brendan Bartic Complete Listing System was to give agents a competitive advantage. So if you were brand new or a year into it, 5 years into it, or 10 years into it, or 50 years into it, you could have a complete listing system, meaning beautiful presentation, sample marketing materials, know what to say, know what to do, exactly what to do when you're sitting at the table, how to make the CMA, how to do all of these things. That way you could learn it, and then you're free to do all of the things that you want to do, which is be a top producing agent, right? You're not under the constrictions of, I've got to wait and figure this out. I had to scratch, crawl, beg, and try to get all of these things when I started out because they didn't exist. Now you have that available to you. So if I'm a new agent and I'm thinking, or a year in or 2 years in, and I'm struggling, I can make it as easy as possible for you. You need to learn and create a value proposition for your listing system. It all starts with listings. You control the listings, you control the market, you control your time, you control your life, right? So to do that, I need a couple of components. First, I need to know where to find listings and how to get them, right? That's a big piece. You can learn that. That's super easy, and you can learn it very quickly. It's all included in the course, right? But you can learn that. Number two that you need to do is you need to know how to list them, right? So the listing presentation, the CMA, all of those things you need to know. Number three, you need to know how to sell them. So you got to get them to the finish line and get them closed. And then number four, you need to know what to do afterwards to have continual success, repeat referral business, and continue to grow your business, right? And the last thing is you need to know where to get all the stuff, the marketing materials, the beautiful presentation, the marketing plan of action, estimated net sheets, sample marketing, all of these things, so you can look like a professional. Now, you can do all of that at the fastest rate ever. You can learn all of that in 1 week. I'm not kidding. All of that in 1 week. So remove that stigma that, hey, I can't do this, I can't do that, right? You can also learn the buyer consultation, all these techniques. And you're going, man, that seems like a lot, Brendan. I'm terrified. There's so much stuff. It's not if you put the work into it and the effort, okay? All you need to do is learn these simple techniques have a beautiful value proposition. Well, you go, well, Brendan, I don't know. What is my value proposition? We explain how to develop that whole process, right? We'll figure out, we help you leverage what you have, and then don't worry about what you don't have, right? All of that's easily solved, but there's no difference of you going over on a listing appointment, giving the presentation of what you do to get a home sold. If it's a great presentation with great value, and going over, getting the signatures, and then going and delivering on that, than the agent that's been in business for 20 years. There's just not, as long as you believe it. Now, I know some of the older agents are going, that's ridiculous, Brendan. They don't know what I know. They don't know the market knowledge. They don't have the history. They don't have all of these things. True. You do have more experience if you've sold a lot of houses. Again, I've had agents that have been licensed 20, 30, 40 years, and they've sold 5 houses. So, of course, it all depends. My point being, you can get a lot further in this faster than you think right now, unlike you've ever been able to before, because everything is there at your fingertips to do it, okay? So, that's the big thing. If you know that this game is ran by listings and controlling the inventory, then why are you going out and working 100 open houses? Why are you being somebody's showing assistant? Why are you doing all of these things? Because you're not taking the time when you're not doing those things to improve this skill. The top agents are normally the best listing agents on earth. Period, end of story, right? Now, Brendan, I like working with buyers. Great. I'm not saying that you then become the greatest buyer specialist on earth. We teach all of that as well. Do that, but make sure that you're doing it at a high level. There's just no reason where you should be sitting here being like, I'm supposed to be somebody's showing assistant. I'm not ready to do this. I'm not ready to do that. I'm scared. I get that you're scared. All it scares, when you're scared, all that means is you haven't prepared enough. You haven't practiced enough. Right? So think about that. And then the second piece of this conversation is, again, if you've been licensed for 50 years, don't try to throw that in people's face and say, hey, with other agents, all the time I hear, hey, you know what? This agent came at me and told me that they've been selling for 50 years, so I need to listen to them. I get that. I respect your seniority in the business, but at the same time, I know people that have had a driver's license for 50 years and they couldn't drive the entire time. And they're terrifying. In fact, they're worse drivers now than they are when they started. So time of you having a license doesn't mean you're good. Time of having a license doesn't mean you're great. It's what you put into it. It's the value that you put into things. It's the care of your craft. It's, do I study every piece of making sure that the value that I bring to my clients, no one can even come close. Period. Is my process smooth? My value? Everything I do, I feel confident in, right? Now, will you get better with time if you're doing all of this and practicing all this at a high level? Yes. But just because you've had a piece of paper for years doesn't mean anything. Right? So to all my new agents or newer agents, set your mind free, practice, work hard, no one can touch you. To all my agents who have been licensed for a long, long time, you still need to be learning every day. I work with a lot of great agents who have been licensed for 20, 30, 40 years that commit to role play every day, that commit to learning every day. And I'm not just talking your CE credits that you learn. That's not a mastery of craft. Mastery of craft is my listing presentation and value proposition 1,000 times better than when it is now than when I started? Is my buyer value, what I bring to buyers, 1,000 times better than what it was when I first started? Am I working on it every single week to get it to the next level? That's what I want you to think about. So again, if you're new, strip off that stigma, rock and roll. If you've been doing it for a long time, act like every day is your first day and you're trying to improve every piece of your business. All right, I'm excited for you guys. Thank you for joining me. If you like this, click on the link below, check out what we've got. Hit the little bell so you can get all the newest videos when they show up. Leave me a nice comment saying, Brendan, you're awesome, because it means the world to me. And as always, I wish you great success.